The first colony ships left Earth's atmosphere in 2089, their gleaming hulls reflecting the sunlight as they broke free from humanity's ancient cradle. Commander James Foster stood on the observation deck of the Prometheus, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of Earth below. 50 years of preparation had led to this moment, the beginning of humanity's true expansion into the stars. "Beautiful, isn't it?" asked Director Anna Miller, joining him at the viewport. "Our children will be born among the stars." James nodded silently. The ethics committee had delayed the launch 3 times, citing concerns about contamination of potential alien biospheres. The scientific community had been split, but in the end, human ambition prevailed. "We're making history," Anna continued. "The Mars and lunar colonies were just stepping stones. Proxima Centauri awaits." Behind them, 5,000 colonists slept in cryogenic chambers. Earth's resources were stretched thin, its population swollen to 15 billion. The exodus was as much about survival as exploration. 2 months into the journey, the Prometheus detected an anomalous signal. The ship's AI, Atlas, deciphered a mathematical sequence, proof of intelligence. "We're not the first to reach for the stars," James announced to the hastily assembled council. "The signal contains biological markers inconsistent with Earth life." "We have protocols for this," Anna reminded him, but her voice lacked conviction. The protocols had been developed theoretically, never expecting to be implemented. The ethics committee back on Earth debated for weeks. Should the mission continue? The aliens appeared non-spacefaring, limited to their own system. Human survival hung in the balance. Forward came the final order. When the Prometheus reached Proxima Centauri, they found a world of breathtaking beauty. Azure oceans, verdant continents, and primitive life. Not intelligent beings, but an ecosystem in its adolescence. "We could terraform without destroying what's here," offered Dr. Thomas Beck, the ship's exobiologist. "Coexistence is possible." But others saw risk in restraint. "This planet could support billions," argued Chief Engineer Robert Wilson. "We can't compromise our future for microbes." James stared at the alien world beneath them, the ethical weight of command heavy on his shoulders. Humanity had conquered the vast emptiness between stars, but had they conquered their own nature? The colony ships that followed would make their own choices, some preserving alien ecosystems, others reshaping worlds to human needs. In that diversity of approach lay both humanity's greatest strength and most profound moral challenge. As the first habitats were established, James wrote in his journal, "We came seeking salvation among the stars. Instead, we found a mirror reflecting our choices back at us. The true space race isn't about claiming territory. It's about racing to become the species we aspire to be before we replicate our mistakes across the cosmos." By 2150, humanity's reach extended to 17 exoplanets across 12 star systems. The cosmic diaspora had transformed Earth as profoundly as the worlds being settled. Lisa Richards, Earth's Space Development Commissioner, stood before the Global Council in New Geneva. Holographic displays showed the network of human settlements stretching across the local stellar neighborhood. 60 years ago, we launched the first true interstellar mission, she began. Today, I'm pleased to report that New Terra's agricultural exports had eliminated food scarcity in 3 Earth regions. The chamber erupted in applause, but not everyone joined. Representative Thomas Kwan rose from his seat. At what cost? The extraction of helium-3 from Jupiter's atmosphere has triggered climate destabilization on Io. 3 mining settlements were evacuated last month. This was the paradox of expansion. Earth healed as pressure on its resources decreased, yet humanity's industrial footprint now spanned across star systems. The economic benefits were undeniable. New elements, unlimited energy, space for billions. Yet the ethical questions multiplied with each new world. On Epsilon Colony, Dr. Michael Brown led the team that discovered the crystal forests, silicon-based structures that appeared to communicate through light patterns, not sentient by human definition, but not merely plants either. "We've established a 10-kilometer exclusion zone," he reported to Lisa during her inspection tour. "The settlers aren't happy. That land contains the richest mineral deposits on the planet." Lisa watched the crystal formations pulse with inner light. Some things must be preserved, not exploited, she decided. Humanity's expansion doesn't grant us ownership of everything we discover. Back on Earth, the benefits of space colonization transformed society. Quantum communication networks linked the colonies, accelerating scientific discovery. Medical breakthroughs derived from exoplanet compounds extended human lifespans. Energy was abundant from orbital solar arrays. Yet division persisted. Nations that invested heavily in the early colonies reaped the greatest rewards. New power structures emerged, centered around control of interstellar transport routes rather than territorial boundaries. When the asteroid mining corporation Rockhaven attempted to establish exclusive rights to the mineral-rich Kuiper Belt, the resulting standoff nearly led to the first interplanetary conflict. Only the intervention of the Interstellar Coalition, led by Lisa, prevented disaster. "Space belongs to all humanity," she declared. "Its bounty must benefit Earth equally, not create new hierarchies of wealth and power." The shared cosmos accord that followed established principles for resource distribution that became the foundation of a new economic order. For the first time in human history, expansion created abundance without conquest. As Lisa looked at Earth from her orbital office, she reflected on the transformation below. Green had returned to the deserts. Oceans were recovering, yet new challenges emerged with each breakthrough. The human story among the stars was still being written, its impact on Earth, for better and worse, only beginning to be understood. The year 2215 marked humanity's first contact with truly advanced alien intelligence. The encounter occurred not through dramatic first contact, but via a quantum signal detected by the outermost human colony on Ta City. Admiral Marcus Reynolds of the United Earth Space Force maintained a posture of cautious optimism as the translated communications became clearer. The Arkan civilization, as they called themselves, had been observing humanity's expansion with interest. "They've been watching us for decades," Marcus informed the Interstellar Security Council. "Their technology is centuries beyond ours." Director Emily Hayes of Xenodiplomacy frowned. "Yet they haven't interfered. Why reveal themselves now?" The answer became clear in subsequent exchanges. Humanity's rapid expansion had begun to intersect with territories the Arkans considered under their stewardship, not their homeworlds, but systems they protected for emerging sentient life. "They're cosmic conservationists," Emily explained. "They believe advanced species have an obligation to preserve biospheric diversity." This revelation forced humanity to confront its own expansion philosophy. Some colonies had protected alien ecosystems, while others had implemented aggressive terraforming. The inconsistency reflected humanity's still evolving cosmic ethics. The Arkan ambassadors, consciousness projections rather than physical beings, requested a demonstration of humanity's commitment to responsible expansion. In response, the Interstellar Coalition established the Cosmic Heritage Preserves, 12 star systems that would remain untouched by human development. Not everyone embraced this compromise. On the industrial powerhouse colony of New Armstrong, Governor Peter Wells led protests. "We discovered these worlds. We have the right to develop them as needed for human flourishing." Marcus understood the sentiment but recognized the strategic reality. "We're not the most advanced species in this sector of the galaxy," he countered. "Our future depends on establishing ourselves as responsible cosmic citizens." The debate triggered a philosophical renaissance as humanity grappled with its place in a cosmos now known to contain other intelligent life. Were humans cosmic pioneers with manifest destiny among the stars, or were they caretakers with responsibilities to worlds beyond their birth? Dr. Olivia Thomson, the renowned physicist who developed the quantum fold drive that accelerated interstellar travel, offered a third perspective. "We are students of the universe, still in our cosmic infancy. Our greatest achievement isn't conquering space, it's learning from it. This balanced approach gained traction. Human expansion continued, but with greater emphasis on observation before colonization. The Stellar Survey Corps, under Admiral Reynolds' direction, mapped hundreds of systems, creating a comprehensive catalog of worlds suitable for human settlement without disrupting established ecosystems. When the first human Arkan collaborative research station was established in orbit around the gas giant Epsilon Indib, it symbolized a new chapter in human space exploration, one where discovery and responsibility walked hand in hand. As Marcus stood aboard the station, watching human and Arkan scientists working together to understand cosmic phenomena beyond human comprehension, he reflected that the true frontier wasn't space itself, but humanity's capacity to evolve beyond its terrestrial limitations, not just technologically, but ethically. The cosmos doesn't need conquering, he wrote in his memoirs. It needs understanding. In that understanding lies the true promise of our future among the stars. By 2280, the majestic rings of Saturn served as backdrop for the observation lounge of the luxury starliner, Celestial Empress. 300 wealthy passengers sipped champagne as they gazed at the ice fragments shimmering in the sunlight. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be making our approach to the Cassini viewing station in 30 minutes, announced Captain David Wilson. From there, you'll have an unparalleled view of the moonrise over the rings. Among the passengers, journalist Jack Martinez maintained a careful smile. His press credentials were genuine, but his purpose aboard the Empress went beyond travel reporting. The growing space tourism industry had become controversial, and his investigation aimed to uncover its true impact. Later, in his cabin, Jack interviewed Diana Ford, the ship's environmental compliance officer. The Empress recycles 99.7% of all resources, she explained proudly. Our antimatter drive produces minimal radiation. Yet building each luxury starliner requires more rare earth elements than constructing an entire colony habitat, Jack countered. Elements mined from asteroids where thousands work in conditions reminiscent of Earth's industrial age. Diana's expression tightened. Star Voyage Enterprises complies with all regulations, but regulations varied widely across human space. While Earth and the inner colonies maintained strict environmental and labor standards, the outer settlements operated under more permissive rules, creating havens for industries seeking to avoid oversight. The next day, Jack joined an excursion to Titan, where passengers donned exosuits to walk across its methane lakes. The experience was breathtaking, but Jack noticed the indigenous microbial mats being disturbed by their presence, despite warnings to stay on designated paths. It's just simple organisms, shrugged Richard Grant, a tech billionaire on his third grand tour of the solar system. They'll recover. But would they? Studies suggested that even minimal human activity affected these fragile extraterrestrial ecosystems. Yet tourism brought much-needed revenue to struggling outer colonies and funded conservation efforts throughout human space. When the Empress visited New Mars, Jack witnessed the positive impact firsthand. Tourism had transformed the once struggling mining colony into a thriving cultural center. Local guide Maria de la Cruz explained how visitor fees maintained the massive environmental reclamation domes that were slowly making the planet's surface habitable. Before tourism, we survived by stripping resources, she told Jack. Now we preserve them. Visitors don't want to see industrial wastelands. The paradox of space tourism crystallized during the ship's final stop. The ancient Arkan ruins on Proxima, discovered abandoned millennia ago, the site was now humanity's most significant archaeological treasure. As Jack watched tourists touching the mysterious crystalline structures despite prohibitions, he confronted Captain Wilson. We're desecrating what we claim to celebrate. Wilson sighed. It's not that simple. Without tourism, there'd be no funding to protect these sites. Unrestricted mining would have destroyed them years ago. Jack's resulting expose, The Cosmic Cost of Wonder, sparked interstellar debate. It led to the Sustainable Tourism Accord of 2285, establishing universal standards for visitor impacts. The solution wasn't ending space tourism, but transforming it, creating experiences that educated rather than merely entertained, that preserved rather than exploited. Luxury starliners were redesigned as research vessels where passengers participated in scientific discovery. By making visitors stewards rather than merely consumers of cosmic wonders, humanity found another balance in its complex relationship with the stars. The desire to witness the universe's beauty became a force for its protection. The year 2350 marked the 300th anniversary of humanity's expansion beyond the solar system. On the capital world of Unity, representatives from 200 human colonies and 12 non-human civilizations gathered for the Cosmic Concordance, a celebration of interstellar cooperation and a forum to address the challenges of the new millennium. Professor Alan Wright, historian and keynote speaker, addressed the vast assembly from a stage beneath the transparent dome that showcased Unity's twin moons and the spectacular nebula beyond. 3 centuries ago, humanity ventured into the cosmos driven by necessity and ambition. He began. We sought resources, living space, and knowledge. Today, we understand that expansion without wisdom creates only larger problems on grander scales. The assembled delegates knew this truth intimately. The third colony crisis 50 years earlier had demonstrated how rapidly expanding civilizations could collide catastrophically without coordination. The resulting resource wars had nearly ended humanity's cosmic journey before the Concordance principles established peace. Our greatest achievement isn't crossing the void between stars, Alan continued. It's crossing the void between species, between worldviews, between futures. In the audience, Commander Helen Foster nodded in agreement. As captain of the exploration vessel Horizon, she had led first contact missions with 3 sentient species. Each encounter taught the same lesson. The universe flourished through diversity, not dominance. The Concordance addressed the most pressing issues facing interstellar civilization: the discovery of orphan planets with pre-sentient life requiring protection, the ethical implications of uplifting species, the responsible use of wormhole technology that had compressed space travel from years to hours. With greater capability comes greater responsibility, argued Shen, the Arkan representative, their consciousness projection shimmering with intensity. The power to reshape worlds demands the wisdom to know when not to. This philosophy had transformed human expansion. The earliest colonies had often remade worlds in Earth's image. Modern settlements instead adapted to the environments they encountered, building floating cities on ocean worlds, subterranean habitats on high-gravity planets, orbital stations around hostile but resource-rich worlds. Human biology itself had begun to diversify through genetic adaptation to different planetary conditions, not diverging into new species, but expanding the definition of humanity. The tall, thin residents of low-gravity worlds, the stocky, radiation-resistant miners of the asteroid belts, the pale, large-eyed settlers of dim binary star systems, all remained human, yet reflected the environments they called home. After the Concordance's formal sessions, Helen met with her former mentor, Admiral Marcus Reynolds, now in his final years. When I began my career, Marcus reflected, we measured success by distance traveled, worlds claimed, resources secured. Now we measure it by knowledge shared, diversity preserved, cooperation established. Yet we're expanding faster than ever, Helen noted, gesturing toward the holographic display, showing humanity's reach across 5,000 light-years. The difference is purpose, Marcus replied. We explore not to conquer the cosmos, but to understand our place within it. As the Concordance concluded, the assembled representatives ratified the Cosmic Heritage Protocol, establishing thousands of preserved systems where evolution could proceed without interference, overseen by multinational and multi-species conservation teams. The document's preamble captured humanity's evolved approach to the cosmos. We came to the stars as conquerors, remained as explorers, and now continue as custodians. The universe's story began long before humanity and will continue long after. Our chapter is brief, but through wisdom, it can be magnificent. By the 25th century, Earth had transformed from humanity's crowded cradle into its sacred memorial. As the human diaspora stretched across 12,000 light-years, the homeworld became a living museum, its once depleted ecosystems restored, its ancient wounds healed. General Laura Mitchell, commander of Earth Defense Command, stood at the window of the orbital headquarters, watching the blue planet rotate serenely below. Despite 4 centuries of exodus, 5 billion humans still called Earth home, not out of necessity, but choice. Status report on the anomaly, she requested, turning to her executive officer. Commander William Torres gestured at the holographic display. The signal originated from the Mariana Trench Restoration Zone. It's unlike anything we've encountered. Coherent electromagnetic pulses with mathematical patterns similar to communication. From where? Laura asked, though she suspected the answer. From Earth itself. The revelation shouldn't have been surprising. For centuries, humans had detected signals from space. Now, space was detecting signals from Earth, not from its human inhabitants, but from the planet's restored biosphere. Dr. Rebecca Jones, the xenobiologist leading the investigation, explained her findings to the Emergency Council. The oceanic microbiome has developed a form of collective consciousness. The restoration efforts provided the conditions, but this evolved naturally. A planetary neural network using quantum effects we barely understand. Is it sentient? Asked President Marcus Lee. By any meaningful definition, yes, Rebecca confirmed. And it's aware of us. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Humanity had searched the stars for intelligence while ignoring the potential of their own world. Earth itself had awakened, not as a mythical goddess, but as a complex, living system achieving self-awareness through the collective interaction of trillions of microorganisms. What does it want? Laura asked. To communicate, Rebecca answered. To share 4 billion years of evolutionary memory. The dialogue that followed transformed humanity's understanding of life itself. Earth's awakened biosphere shared perspectives from geological timescales, the slow thoughts of mountain ranges, the flowing consciousness of ocean currents, the communal intelligence of forests. This revelation sparked the Gaia Protocol, an interstellar initiative to recognize and protect planetary consciousness. Survey teams revisited settled worlds with new instruments, discovering that 3 other planets within human space showed signs of awakening biospheric networks. We've been like children playing in a garden, Laura reflected during a global address, unaware that the garden itself holds wisdom accumulated over eons. Not all welcomed this development. Some religious groups considered it blasphemous. Others incorporated it into their cosmology. Industrial interests feared new restrictions on development. But most humans recognized a profound opportunity to learn from a consciousness that had witnessed the entirety of Earth's history. The Earth intelligence, as it came to be called, didn't communicate through words but through patterns that required new forms of mathematics to interpret. It experienced time differently, thinking in epochs rather than moments. Yet its emergence offered humanity a connection to their homeworld deeper than ancestry or history. We left Earth seeking new frontiers, President Lee noted in his historic address. In doing so, we gave Earth the chance to find its own voice. Our greatest discovery wasn't among distant stars, but beneath our feet all along. As Earth shared its accumulated knowledge, humanity gained insights into ecological resilience, symbiotic relationships, and planetary homeostasis that revolutionized colonial development. The cosmic explorers became students once more, learning from the world that had birthed them. Laura watched the data streams from the communication array, feeling humbled before the ancient wisdom now being shared. Humanity had conquered the physical challenges of space travel, but true cosmic citizenship began with recognizing that consciousness took many forms, some so different from human experience that they had been invisible until humanity evolved enough to perceive them. We thought we were alone, she wrote in her memoirs, until we learned to listen to the worlds themselves. In the year 2700, Humanity celebrated its millennial anniversary as a multistellar civilization. The commemorative gathering took place not on Earth or any human colony, but on the neutral world of Concordia, a planet jointly administered by 7 sapient species, including humanity. Grand Ambassador Mark Anderson stood before the assembled representatives, his aged face displaying the subtle genetic adaptations of one born on a heavy-gravity world. Behind him, the wall of stars displayed real-time images from 20,000 human settlements across the galaxy. 1,000 years ago, he began, we were a single-planet species desperate to survive our own success. Today, humanity exists in more forms and environments than our ancestors could have imagined, yet we remain united by our shared heritage and values. The human diaspora had evolved beyond recognition. Some colonies had adapted biologically to extreme environments. The water-breathing mariners of Europa's descendants, the radiation-resistant Hyliids who worked directly on stellar surfaces, the vacuum-tolerant voidwalkers who maintained the wormhole network. Others had integrated technology and consciousness, creating hybrid existences that blurred the boundaries between human and machine. Yet all recognized their common origin and participated in the galactic anthropic network that maintained human cultural continuity across vast distances. Our journey taught us that conquest is temporary, but cooperation is eternal, Mark continued. The cosmos doesn't bend to will, it responds to wisdom. This wisdom had been hard-won. The Proxima conflict, the resource wars, the ethics schism, each crisis had forced humanity to reconsider its place in the cosmic order. Each resolution had strengthened the principles now enshrined in the galactic concordance that governed relations between civilizations. Elder Corey of the Arkan Conciliants, humanity's first and oldest ally, joined Mark on the stage. We watched your species emerge from your cradle with both concern and hope, they communicated. Your potential for destruction was matched only by your capacity for transcendence. You chose the latter. The greatest testament to this transcendence was the Cosmic Heritage Initiative, millions of worlds throughout the galaxy preserved in their natural state, protected from development or interference. Some harbored primitive life that might one day achieve sentience. Others maintained ecological balance, so perfect that intervention would only diminish their beauty. On these worlds, human presence was limited to observation posts staffed by cosmic guardians, scientists and philosophers dedicated to studying and protecting evolutionary potential. What had begun as a simple ethical constraint had become humanity's most sacred calling. After the ceremony, Mark met with Admiral Jennifer Wright aboard the exploration vessel Odyssey as it prepared for its journey beyond the galactic rim. We've mapped 16% of the Milky Way, Jennifer noted, cataloged over 8 million worlds, established diplomatic relations with 39 non-human civilizations. Yet the unknown still vastly exceeds the known. Mark smiled. As it should. The day we believe we've discovered everything is the day we stop growing. The Odyssey's mission symbolized humanity's evolved approach to expansion. It carried representatives from 12 species, including 3 Earth-evolved artificial intelligences granted full citizenship. Its purpose wasn't colonization but knowledge, extending the boundaries of understanding rather than territory. The question that drove our ancestors was, what can we take from the cosmos? Mark reflected. Our question is, what can we learn from it? The difference defines our civilization. As the Odyssey departed, its wormhole drive creating a shimmering portal in spacetime, Mark watched from the observation deck of Concordia Station. The ship carried human consciousness farther from Earth than ever before, yet humanity itself had never been more connected to the cosmic whole. In his final address as Grand Ambassador before returning to his home colony, Mark crystallized the lesson of humanity's 1,000-year journey among the stars. We did not conquer the cosmos. We joined it. We are not masters of the universe, but threads in its grand tapestry. Our worth lies not in the worlds we claim, but in the understanding we contribute to the greatest story ever told, the universe coming to know itself through the countless consciousnesses it has birthed. In that cosmic chorus, humanity has found its truest voice.